मैम जोमेटो से बोल रहा हूँ। आपका पार्सल लॉबी में रख दिया है नीचे।
Okay, thank you. Great, my order is here on time. Now that my order is here, let's talk about the company that's opening its IPO next week. Hi everyone, in today's video, we're going to talk about the much awaited Zomato IPO and everything you need to know about it. We believe it's a long-term play and merits a subscribe. So let's have a look at the specifics of the issue. The IPO will open for subscription between 14th July to 16th July and the price band has been fixed at 72 to 76 rupees. The issue size is 9,375 crores, of which the fresh issue is 9,000 crores and the offer for sale by Info Edge is 375 crores. The issue size is 195 shares per lot and the retail portion has been capped at 10%. So this is lower than the usual 25% limit because as per regulation 6.1 of SEBI ICDR regulations, a company making losses at the time of IPO cannot offer more than 10% of its issues to its retail investors. So the proceeds of the IPO will be used for funding organic and inorganic growth as well as for general corporate purposes. So organic growth refers to growing the existing business, whereas inorganic growth refers to any acquisitions that the company may do. So in the past, Zomato has done quite a few acquisitions like Uber Eats to increase their customer base and market share, and Cart Hero Tech to provide logistics services for their online orders. Recently, it also sought an approval from the CCI to acquire a 9.3% stake in Grofers for 750 crores. So the company has received substantial funding from major investors over the year right since its inception. So here are some of the marquee investors. The largest investor is Info Edge, also known as Naukri, with an 18.5% stake, followed by investors like Ant Group, Uber, Tiger Global, Sequoia, and many more. The company is professionally managed and does not have an identifiable promoter. And as mentioned earlier, Info Edge will reduce a small part of their stake. So initially they plan to reduce their stake by 750 crores, but this has been brought down to 375 crores. So let's have a look at the journey of Zomato. Zomato started off in 2011 as a restaurant search and discovery platform with ratings and reviews. In 2015 is when they entered the food delivery business and then launched table reservation in 2016. In 2017, they launched their membership program Zomato Pro, which was earlier known as Zomato Gold. Now this membership provides dual benefits towards dine-in as well as delivery. In 2018, they acquired a hyperlocal delivery platform. In 2019, they launched Hyperpure, which is a B2B business for their restaurant partners. And in 2020 is when they scaled their presence to over 500 cities and acquired Uber Eats business. So let's have a look at the board of directors. It includes the founder, Mr. Dipender Goyal. Investors like Sanjeev Bikhchandani of Info Edge and Douglas Fegan of Ant Group are also part of the board as well. There is diversity with people of great experience spanning PwC, McKinsey, Facebook, Microsoft, Ambit, and even ex-Olympian Aparna Ved. If you look at the management team, members have been with Zomato for a large part of the journey. Some of them, like the head of supply Gaurav Gupta, head of business Gunjar Patidar, chief people officer Akriti Chopra, and head of new business Mohit Gupta, have been elevated to co-founder status, which is Zomato's way of empowering its key management. So let's jump into the revenue or the business model. So they have several service offerings within the food ecosystem. They initially started off as a listing platform that had reviews and reservations. And in 2015, they started their delivery business, which contributes 75% of their revenues today. The third offering is Hyperpure, which is their B2B grocery business, where they supply raw materials to restaurants, which is still in the nascent stages. And their fourth offering is their membership program, which is Zomato Pro, which is a subscription-based model and is driven by membership fees and number of members. So if you look at the industry, of the total portion of population that has access to internet in India, only 43% use online services and only 24% use retail platforms versus China's 69%. Apart from this, the total addressable food service market in India is large. So of the total meals consumed in India, the restaurant food as a percent of it is only 8 to 9% versus 40 to 50% in countries like US and China. And only 8% of people with access to internet order food online. This again is significantly lower versus US and China at 40 to 50%. According to RedSale, the food service market is growing at 9% per annum and is expected to touch 110 billion US dollars by 2025. With the growing smartphone users, internet reach, and larger portion of the Gen Z in the Indian population, this share can be expected to grow significantly for India. Let's understand Zomato's unit economics. So in FY20, their inflow per order was 59 rupees, which basically includes commission from restaurants and delivery charge to the customer. The outflow per order was 89 rupees, that includes your delivery cost, discounts, as well as other variable expenses. So in FY20, the contribution or earning per order was a negative 30.5 rupees per order. If we look at the same unit economics in FY21, the contribution per order has turned positive to rupees 20.5. This was driven by higher commissions from restaurants, higher delivery charge from customers, and lower delivery expense and discounts. If we see the quarterly trend, this has been a consistent improvement. Q1 and Q2 contribution as a percent of the gross order value is higher due to the lockdown, leading to an advantage for delivery platforms as restaurants were shut. The contribution margin reduced in Q3 and Q4, but is likely to remain positive ahead as well. So in terms of key operating metrics, it has seen an improvement every year. FY21 saw a slight drop as the first half was impacted by fears of ordering food online. However, the gross order value and average order value has seen a sharp increase post the dip during the pandemic, and it has clocked the highest gross order value in Q4 FY21. The average order value is at around 395 rupees currently. Its key strengths would be its strong network effects and increasing order value from the repeat customers. So for example, a customer acquired in 2017 would have increased his order value by 3 times over the next 3 years. As a result of the repeat customers and the network effects, their advertisement expenses to reach the customer has reduced significantly over the years. Zomato has also grown ahead in terms of industry in terms of gross order value. Zomato enjoys a duopoly in the online food delivery market with Swiggy, with each of them being stronger in some states respectively. However, the gap in market share between them in any particular state would not be more than 5 to 10%. So, as outlined by the company, their long-term growth strategy will be to focus on improving the unit economics and growing the business, that is food delivery, dine out and Hyperpure, as well as investing in new products and tech, and continue building a strong brand. In terms of financial performance, the revenue has grown substantially at a CAGR of 90% of the last 4 years. While the company is currently loss-making, they have seen a reduction in losses at the EBITDA and PAT level in FY21 despite a lower base of revenues. Even Indian companies that were loss-making at the time of listing or a few years prior have given strong returns, as we can see. The global peers in the same space have seen a strong growth in revenues and have grown at a CAGR of 50 to 60% over the last 4 years. Players like Meituan have seen profitability at the EBITDA level already. Now coming to the valuation, if we look at it on an EV by sales basis for FY20 and 21, Zomato's valuation may look expensive. However, Q1 FY21 was a washout, and hence if we annualize the Q4 FY21 revenue run rate as the steady rate and take the post-money valuation, that is the market cap minus the cash proceeds received from the IPO, the valuation seems reasonable at around 16 times, which is in line with global peers. Hence, one can expect listing gains of 20 to 30% from the issue price. However, we believe it's more for long-term play. So let's take a look at global tech giant Amazon and see their journey. Amazon took a while to get on the path of profitability, but once it did and scaled up, the share price moved significantly as well, resulting in exponential returns over the long horizon. With a revenue CAGR of 30% over 5 and 10 years, the stock price CAGR has been 37% and 29% over the same period. So why do we think the potential is immense? The main growth drivers for the business will be their growing presence in existing cities through order frequency, new customers, and increasing restaurant partners. The second driver will be expanding their presence in newer cities where the scope is immense, as they are present in only a fraction of cities currently, that is 500 versus a potential of 4,000 cities. The third driver will be scaling up their membership program, Zomato Pro, and B2B business, Hyperpure. And lastly, growth will also be led by acquisitions as they continue to expand their offerings. So, like any other investment, there are risks that one needs to consider. The unit economics have been improving, but a steady state is yet to be determined. The reduction in average order value and number of orders and the increasing competitive intensity will be key monitorables ahead. Also, profitability may take slightly longer than anticipated. So what should you do? Zomato is the first Indian startup unicorn to list, which has grown at a CAGR of 90% plus over the last 4 years. It has the potential to continue to compound 35 to 40% over the next 3 to 5 years. As per our quick analysis, if it continues to grow at a compounded rate of 35 to 40%, it has the ability to increase its revenues by 5x over the next 5 years and embark on a profitable journey at EBITDA level as early as FY23 and PAT by FY24. So hence we are positive on Zomato for the long term. Hope you liked the video, and if you did, then please hit like, subscribe to our channel and share the video with people who you think might find this interesting. Thank you.